Hey, what's up, y'all? We back again on that MARTA train into Cali. This is Prince of Fresh Podcast. I'm your co-host, Rhayne Coleman, man, and I got the freshest of the princes with me again today. What's up, Cole?
Man, what's up? What's up, Rhayne? How you doing?
Man, I'm feeling good, feeling great. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying my life in Cali, back to back.
Well, the MARTA train's not in California, sir.
You
So,
don't know that the underground MARTA train.
I, okay, I'm not even gonna go back and forth with you on that one.
Yes, y'all. Welcome back to Prince of Fresh Podcast. We are here to discuss, dissect, and commiserate and have thoughts and hot takes on none other than Bel Air and Peacock's sensational show, Bel Air. Yeah. So, how you feeling?
uh, I have an announcement to make, everyone. This episode, Rhayne is going to have to talk me into continuing watching this show.
I have another.
So you're gonna have to do. You have a very tall task, buddy, because I don't know if I want to watch this anymore.
Plot twist, you have to do the same for me. So well,
here we go. Interesting.
Yeah, here we go, y'all. So Prince of Fresh. Yes. What are your what's going on, man? Give me some initial thoughts. What's on your mind?
I don't think I can just give you initial thoughts.
Okay.
I think everything is really going to come to when we get into the breakdown of the show.
Okay.
But you're going to have to talk to me. I guess we're going to have to figure out how to. This might be the last episode of Prince of Fresh, y'all. Just letting you know.
I feel like I'm a little bit more forgiving than you, so I don't need as much talking. But
wrangle me in, buddy. Let me just say this. I've watched the episode 3 times and I'm still pissed off. And I'll probably get into the rant later. I might do the rant early, so maybe we can have a very calm show the rest of the episode.
Hey, man, do what you gotta do.
I'm pissed, and I'm just pissed off. Sorry.
I get you. I hear you. I feel like this show, season 2, feels like what we get in a season 1 reboot of any other show. I am enjoying the imagery. I think, everyone looks good just like last season. This feels like it feels like there's something it feels like there's something missing, like it's moving a little slow, but it also feels like it's moving too fast, if that makes sense. Like there's something about this that feels just a little off. I'm enjoying seeing my favorite characters again. I will say that within all my critiques, I think Carlton is the character that I am able to latch on to, who feels most consistent from season 1. But let's kick things off. So to start off light before we get too heavy, what you got for us?
All right, so we're going to start. We're doing a segment every week where we have the freshest of the week per episode. This week, Jazz was the freshest of the week, man. His outfit, record store outfit, he went retro with the FUBU jersey, with the blue FUBU jersey. I thought that was amazing. It was dope. Brought me back. He was listening to Tupac in the record store. Thought that was amazing. Then we get to the lunch outfit where he has this vintage wool cardigan, or maybe it was a kimono. I really couldn't tell because I was trying to find out if it had buttons or not. If it didn't have buttons, I think it was a kimono, but I think it did. I was trying to pause it and find out, but I was too mad.
It did have buttons. I'm looking at it now. It had buttons. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he had this vintage wool cardigan, which was very dope. And the club outfit where he had the short sleeves, everything that he wore in this episode. Yes. He was the freshest of the week, man. what sold it for me was the retro football jersey. I was like, there's no way it's not a lot of people who can wear that and then still make it look cool, but Jazz that's what got me. So I had to give it to Jazz. Freshest of the week.
I agree wholeheartedly. I think Carlton looks good in the sense that he fits that preppy aesthetic, that preppy mode. Will look good because he kind of teeters that line of that preppy and then that West Philly, whatever. But Jazz, whoever is doing wardrobe for that young man is knocking it out of the park. Because episode 1, he was fresh as hell too. So I agree. No contest there. So a few things happened this episode. There were quite a few storylines. I guess where would you
let me get mine out the way, man.
Go ahead.
This is deep into the episode, and I know we're probably gonna go out of order with this, and I wanted to go ahead and try to do it in order, but I can't. Here's my gripe.
Come on.
So in this episode, we'll do a breakdown. In this episode, we start off with the whole thing with Will and the basketball stuff. We have another storyline it's really weird with Aunt Viv and this whole thing with with Reed. We have a teacher who is teaching outside the curriculum. We have Jackie and the coach figuring out what their relationship is, and then we have Hillary and Jazz's relationship. So I wanted to just let me get this rant out of the way. I'm going to refuse to watch this show if we're going to go down the path that I think we're going down. Hillary says, "Yo, I want you to meet my parents."
Come on.
Try to meet my parents, and I want them to know. I want to show that this relationship is real. We've had a whole bunch of craziness happen with their relationship on here, as far as like her borrowing his car. He's asking her, "Hey, like, don't let nobody drive it. This is one of my prized possessions, so on and so forth. Let your little raggedy friend get behind the wheel." Right. So this show, I'm trying not to be angry, man, on this.
Hey, let it out.
They get to the point. We're at the point where she's like, "Hey, I want to apologize, make up for what I did for lunch. Have lunch over here at my place. Hey, let's take it to the next level. I want you to meet my parents." She was like, "I just don't let anybody meet my folks." I'm like, "Okay, cool. This is gonna be dope. I can't wait," because this is supposed to be a different type of Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv.
Okay.
And she says, "Hey, I want to have lunch, and I thought we'd have lunch with my boyfriend." And then this look of disappointment and like eye rolling of like Jazz being her boyfriend, and the way that they were trying to like he didn't even want to dap the man up, like.
And haven't they met him already? Didn't they meet him?
They said, "Oh, what's Jazz doing here?" Jazz, okay.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Jazz is my boyfriend," and they just like. The Bankses are supposed to be about Black culture. They're supposed to love Black people. Jazz is not. He's an entrepreneur. He's not out here acting wild. Like, am I missing a disconnect here?
Yes.
He's not no street nigga. Like they like when she said that's my boyfriend, and they kind of was just like, oh Lord. That resonated with me because I've been there before. I've had people. I mean, I've had girlfriends who have some money, a little bit of money. And their parents don't really feel like didn't feel like I was good enough for their daughter, and that hurts. And especially when you are portrayed as these Black people who want to uplift Black culture, and you want to be a part of like making sure that like Blackness is put in the forefront. I don't know what the problem is with like her dating Jazz, or why the writers would write it like that, like they are disappointed that it's Jazz. And maybe I'm reading too much into it.
I don't think so.
But
I think you are.
The way that they portrayed her saying that was her boyfriend really irked me, because I'm like, wait, shouldn't y'all be proud of? I mean, shouldn't y'all be happy about her dating someone who's an entrepreneur, someone who's not out here in the streets acting a fool, somebody who's not doing your typical, nigga shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not a bad person. So why am I getting those types of vibes from them when it comes to her introducing him as her? Like, Rhayne, am I crazy?
No,
First of all,
no. If you are, then we both crazy. This is one of my problems with reboots. I fear that they are trying to emulate that jazz feel relationship from the original series, but with this more dramatic mood, and that hasn't been the story you've established. Now, I will say I want to wait and see what happens in the next episode, because they do sit down and have a conversation about it. But this initial reaction, much like you, I was very shocked because, one, they know Jazz. Two, everything you said, they're very respectability politics, because Viv, one thing I've noticed is she talks a lot of shit about West Philly and it being home and this and that, but that is only in relation to I've been from back in the day, I'm from the hood or whatever else. It never seemed like she's fighting for getting artists of color of different backgrounds into this like fellowship thing. Cool. But when you only speak about West Philly when Will is doing something crazy, or you miss some food from back in the day or some shit like that, to me it feels like it's an aesthetic. It is a fond memory. I have money now and I don't want to be around this, which is so weird because Jazz, like you said, if out of all the characters on the show, Will is more of that bad influence from Philly. Like, he's more of that personality you wouldn't want around your daughter. Not even saying he's a bad person, but out of all of the cast members, he is that person. And then even with Phil, it feels like a weird turn to take with these characters, given everything we went through last season, and given
so I'm not crazy.
the amount of importance placed on blackness and black culture, from Phil being an alpha, from Viv being from Philly, from the West Philly aesthetic and culture being so ingrained in Will that even coming to Bel-Air, that's the culture shock. Because not that I'm black in a white space, is I'm a particular type of black in a white space.
And then let me just interject for a second.
Mm-hmm.
How can y'all feel like that about Jazz when on the other side of y'all storyline, y'all are going to try to fight for this black teacher who got fired for no that to me, those things don't go together. How are you going to fight for a black teacher? It's like, well, she's the only black teacher in the school, but you're upset or you're a little disappointed.
She's a particular kind of black. She's the again, respectability. She's that black, and even okay.
He owns his own business. He got a fire apartment. He got a fire apartment. He owns his own business.
They don't know that. All they know is that this is Jazz. This is the man.
He's not living with his mama. He's not in somebody's basement. And it's like, I understand the OG Fresh Prince where Jazz was like the comic relief. Oh, let me throw him out because he's always doing something crazier. He's always flirting with my daughter. He always saying something out the way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not this Jazz.
Yeah,
he's been respectful. He hasn't really. The only thing you could probably say about him is when Will left, he
picked him up.
Was like picked him up and like, you stay with me. But he didn't
again,
have to do
friend.
that.
But what I'm saying, that's still his friend. Just like Jeffrey is your friend, and y'all did some dirty shit. But apparently,
I hate that storyline too.
Yeah, no, we get to.
Oh God,
y'all who watch it, look at Cole. Hey, I felt that, brother. But what I'm saying, bringing that up, what I'm saying is their Jazz parallels so much that's already going on or that's been established, that this response to him, even if they're going to take it a different way in episode 3, my thing is your job as the show is it's like you're leading me to believe, even if it's not right in the show, that they don't want them together because he's not good enough for their daughter.
Right.
That's what I'm getting from this interaction. So if it was truly like she's not mature enough, or I want her to wait to date, like whatever, I don't care what the reason it might be, but if you haven't, I feel like this scene would have went an entirely different way had they opened the door, faked being happy, and then when Jazz and Hillary went to go set the table, like, oh, we got to talk about this, and then get into whatever the like. Even if I okay, how do I put this? Even if whatever their reasoning is, I don't agree with, I think putting on a face for Jazz and not making him feel like shit is more important, even if you want to have them be like, he's not good enough for my daughter later on. Because what is the reason?
You
Why
can't
would
do
you do
that.
that? But no,
You
but
can't do that.
I'm not saying it's
no,
right.
no, hold on.
Go ahead.
You can't do that. If you're gonna sit up here and put the Bankses in a situation where they fighting for black folks and they're fighting, they're supposed to be fighting for equality, then if that's the case, what is Will's girlfriend's name? I can't
Lisa
even
or
remember. Kick Lisa's ass up out of here. That's what you
no,
do.
she's adjacent to.
She's not from Means. Her dad's a fucking get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah,
No.
hey,
If you are supposed to be the Banks that's fighting for black folks and y'all care about the culture and y'all give a damn about like how we come up and the whole situation with Will and stuff like that, then it shouldn't even be.
You missing it. You
No,
missing how fake. No, not seriously. You missing it. But what I'm saying is, Lisa is the exception because she's at Bel-Air. They knew her mother. There's that. You're
then they need to be sellout motherfuckers. Then instead of being like we fight for black culture and I want all these young black artists to be a part of what's going on. Get out of here, man.
They teeter in that line. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Bel-Air, where's the camera? Hey, get some better writers. How about that?
What?
Get some better writers. If y'all want this to work, like, then they need to be sellouts or something like that. Because I can't do. I'm not sitting up here. I was rooting for this show really, really hard because it really felt like they was like giving a damn about black people. And again, I don't know where the storyline is going, and I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. Nothing wrong with that.
But you're not wrong.
As of right now,
yeah,
that whole situation with Jazz, I'm not fucking with this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not. I really feel like that kind of set me up for being disappointed.
Yeah, and I think to your point, if you are going to give us this type of storyline, you already have Doc. You already have Phil being upset at the influence of Doc. Like whatever energy you have for him and Hillary, put that on Will and like that feels like an acceptable place to point that aggression or that issue or whatever. So no, I'm with you. Listeners, let us know.
Jazz is not no hood nigga. Like he not doing hood shit. Like he's very respectable in my eyes. Maybe I'm just maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm in the fucking dark about shit. But I didn't like it. That really felt like they turned their back at me as a black person. I felt very stabbed in the back from that whole thing. And again, I don't know where the story is going, but
but what we got right now. So regardless if we don't know where it's going, what you presented us with right now, and one thing that I've come to learn throughout my years of like just consuming media, when a show is done well, even if you don't like the show, when it's done well, everything on screen matters. So you don't have unnecessary scenes. And I say that to further emphasize your point. That scene could have been cut out altogether, or it could have went a different way, but you chose to present it to us this way, even if it was to elicit this response to then subvert our expectations in episode 3. But this is what we got until next week. So,
and I might not want to watch the show next week.
Oh, okay, y'all. I'll watch it and I'll let you know what they do.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
no, I feel it. I feel you.
This is one of the few, like.
No, and I feel you. This is one of this. Not this.
I love this show. Well, I loved it. I don't know how much love I'm gonna give for it for the rest of the season. Yet. But like this is from look. There's certain things in black shows that I love to see. Let me throw this out here, and this is not on no creepy shit or no weird shit. Vivian Banks in this show is beautiful. She is a beautiful black woman, from the way she walks to how she talks to her hairstyles, like the way she carries herself, all of that. The children, I feel like how they have the kids in this show, very like they match. I feel like everything. I mean, this is not Best Man Holiday, bro. You feel me? Like,
funny enough that you bring that up. We're gonna bring that up again a little later, but go ahead.
Right. Like everything about this show works for me. Like I'm like, oh, like the only person who don't work for me is Uncle Phil, and I think that's just a personal thing. But like the way Vivian talks, this episode when she was just like, wait, They fired that black teacher in there. Oh, we gonna do something about this. That's what a black mom would do. Oh, my child, she needs her black teacher in her. Yes, we gonna figure this out. It's stuff like that in the show that feels super relatable to me that makes me want to continue to watch the show. Like Hillary, her whole situation that's going on right now, that's some real stuff that happens. Sometimes you get caught up with trying to impress a friend that really ain't shit, but she's trying to figure it out. Like, I get it. The Jazz is like one of the coolest people on this show.
The coolest, to be honest.
I love how they portray him in this. Like, it's a all black cast. We don't get they're not stereotypes to me. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like everybody has their own thing. Like, it just feels good. But when you bring in some bullshit, which is Jazz is not good enough for, get out of it. Stop trying to play me. Don't set me up for the fall.
Yeah.
And having me believe that, like, everything that you just showed me about Philip and Vivian is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, I think that's fair. Because this is why I stopped watching Mayfair Witches. Not that it's the same type of show, but they had a black character who wasn't she didn't have a huge role on screen, but like her presence was felt. And the way that they took her out the game, I was like, how are you okay with doing this to a black body? Like, doing this on screen, and I just checked out. So I feel you. I think that, you know, if it ain't working for you, it ain't working for you. And you have every right to be like, nah, this ain't what I want. I do feel similarly about some other storylines in this episode, and I'm really hoping that by episode 3 things start to come together for me, because that really threw me for a loop. I was upset with Hillary for just springing this shit on him, but I couldn't even be like mad at her,
right?
Because I was like, okay, maybe you're speaking to the difference in like the tax bracket. Like, you grew up with money, so maybe but I can't even give you that.
No, because Philip not dapping that man up, and you are alpha for all out of all that. You only want to dap. And I understand that. Oh, that's my daughter, but that wasn't because it wasn't your daughter. That's because you don't feel like he's good enough for her. Like, don't give me that bullshit about you sitting up here stepping with the damn alphas and all this other. And you didn't even want to dap the man up. Get out of here, man.
I was talking about Hillary, but I understand.
I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to I'm pissed off.
No, I get it. I promise you I do. And I feel like your anger is justified, because, again, this is black media by black folks, and we're still getting. Now, I will say everything's not going to be perfect. This is not an excuse for the missteps that we perceive in this episode, but I will say everything's not going to be perfect. But at the same time, there is a level of awareness that you have to have when season 1 was so good, you know. And I'm not even gonna say season 1 was perfect, but, like, come on. I love me some Hillary. I love me some Coco Jones. I don't like the direction that I'm seeing her go in this season, specifically with Jazz. Not even the like house stuff. I like the argument. I like focusing on her being a content creator, because that is what people are doing now, of all ages. So to see this very specific issue of brand deals, marketing stuff, and having to bump up against that with friendships and frenemies, this ain't the 90s where it could be, oh, girl, I want to run a school newspaper. No, this is things that are actually happening. So I like that. But this whole situation with Jazz and her, I don't feel like Hillary is handling any of this well. And that is so frustrating to me. Because Jazz even asked her, he was like, well, if it wasn't for Ivy putting her fucking lips down my throat, would you have even wanted to claim me? It's just like, oh, well, that's when I realized such and such. And I can almost give you that. But even when it comes to meeting your family, if you thought for a second that there was a sliver of they may not feel the same way about you that I do, why spring this on him like that? Yeah, like, why? That was so weird to me. And I don't understand the reasoning for it. Like, what? I get him being nervous because, yeah, you've met them, but you ain't met them as her boyfriend. But her being like, oh, and they're walking up now. Hillary, what are we doing? In what world does that make sense? And that's why I say maybe it's something about the privilege of being, like, wealthy. But it's like, you're not even considering this man's feelings of how he would react, or if he's ready to meet your parents in that way. Like, there's no conversation that can be had.
Right.
That shit blew me. That,
yeah.
And then as soon as that shit slapped me across the face, and I was like, okay, hold the fuck up. Then the field shit came in. So I was like, her letting Ivy drive his car, her not claiming him until Ivy kissed it, which I'm kind of on the fence about that because I can see how.
And you brought up and you made this point last week about the whole influencer thing. Like she was just like, well, I'm an influencer and I have to make I have to let people feel like I'm attainable and I couldn't do this. And
this ain't 99.
But you brought. I remember you brought that up last week.
Yeah,
I was like, "Damn, Rhayne
this
did
shit,
say
because
that."
it's stupid as hell. Because this is not 1999 where there's tabloids and there's young Disney and Nickelodeon child stars, and you want to give that allure of attainability because these young teen girls and boys are like interested. Like I get the psychology behind it. Then, ma'am, this is 2023. What do you mean? I don't want to have this. And then what's really pissed me off about that line is there's nothing in her history of this show that presents the idea of her being sexually and romantically available being helpful to her brand, except for her doing something she didn't want to do, which was being at lingerie and cooking. But we got rid of that.
That wasn't even supposed to come out. Remember, she didn't even put that out. The content house manager put that out on her.
But even with that, regardless to how it came out, that still was never that. It wasn't.
That wasn't her choice.
Okay, there. And we've moved past that to where your brand is not sex. So you having a husband and 3 kids or having a boyfriend on the side or whatever, maybe there's something that I'm missing. Maybe if you some content girlies out there who are faking like you're single and you're not, and this is actually legitimate, let me know. But this ain't 1999. This ain't 2002. Yeah, no, I'm sure there are, but like that ain't the brand that you had. Like I feel like we're not digging deep enough into certain parts of the show that would make that make sense. Like if Ivy had a house meeting, this is just off the top of my head, and was like, okay, we are all girl house, me and like women's and women's bodies. With the boyfriend, we get 92% sales, but if we appear that we don't have none, we get 90. Like if you're giving me something that supports this claim that she's making, then I'm all for it. But nothing about her history gives me that impression because that would be a conversation that if it was had before Ivy kissed him and there was supporting content supporting that shit, I would be like, okay, I can kind of see where she's coming from. And if this is their conflict, figuring out how to date and be a content creator, then I'm all for it. But you haven't done that work. You're just telling me shit that happened off screen. No, Hillary. You the one who talks shit about a food company on IG Live because they wasn't trying to take your use your black ass recipes. But
right,
this where you draw the line.
The more black empowerment stuff, which again she gets from Vivian and Philip, and now they don't like Jack. Can we move? Okay,
let's
finish up what you need to finish up about the Hillary stuff. So I'm done talking about it because the more I think about it, the more it pisses me off because I just feel like y'all are. If anything, if y'all want to do something, God damn it. If you guys want to do that kind of storyline with Hillary and Jazz, I would much rather y'all go the route of she's doing it again. She's falling in love with some guy, and he doesn't know that she's just not responsible enough to be in a relationship.
Yeah,
like that should be the narrative of that should be that. I don't feel like you can establish that the Bankses are people who care about black people and what's going on, but not like this guy because of whatever, because of the tax bracket or whatever the case may be, because of class.
Well, we gonna
find out. Again, if anything, especially if Vivian, if they're behind the blackness that they want to support, she should have been like, well, he's an entrepreneur. He's a good guy. Like,
but you also shouldn't have to sell somebody on your humanity, though. That shouldn't be now I can see if he's some, like, I don't know, troublemaker, whatever. Even that's subjective because, like, what is it? Is it that he's poor? So, but no, I'm with you. I think I'm going to try my best to hold off.
Your own business. How about that? Because you don't.
No.
Take it from somebody who's
an
entrepreneur. I'm broke all the time. I'm
What
paying
I'm,
for
no, no, no.
something
What I'm saying
all
is
on a
they may
regular
not know,
basis.
but I don't think that you need to sell your humanity to somebody just for them to like you. Like, even if he was poor, working at, let's say fast food and just making ends meet, that don't make him any less deserving than if he is this entrepreneur running his business. The only thing I could see being an issue is that if he is a bad influence, like he's in and out of jail doing X, Y, and Z, but even that, but whatever, we could talk about that for hours. So let's.
I just want them. I just want them to continue to support Black people in the way that they have portrayed. Since Uncle Phil is this alpha, and he gives a fuck about going to the damn barbecue, stepping his fucking
When it
stiff
works
ass
for
out
him.
there and shit like that.
When it
Get
works
the
for him.
fuck out of here, man.
He ain't revisited that shit since. So, we see what type of man
And you
he
can't
is.
even shake. You couldn't even shake the man's damn hand. Get out of here. I'm done with this show. Give me something
Hey,
else.
okay, I got you. Let's move on to.
I'm going. I'm gonna go watch Grand Crew. Get the fuck out of here. Let's do a Grand
What?
Crew podcast. I'm not watching this
Hey,
shit no more.
get away from here. Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Grand Crew afresh. So let's move on to Carlton. So Carlton has a few storylines. He has Carlton in the BSU. We have Carlton and his anxiety meds, and we have with the BSU we have something else with this older lady. Before getting into that, I do want to shout out Riley Downs. Now, this young woman, she plays Yasmin Stats, the president of the BSU. I looked at her face the entire first episode, and I was like, why does this little black girl look familiar? She has been in Four Brothers back in 2005. She was in The Best Man Holiday in 2013. She more recently, where I know her from, like off visually looking at her, is Darby and the Dead, and I think that was 2022 or 2023, where she was a medium who spoke to the dead, but she was in high school. It was like a young YA type thing.
Oh, I seen that movie.
Hey,
That shit was
that's her.
good. I had
When
to
I
think
tell
about it.
you,
That's her.
bro, that's her. I had to look that up. I was like, nah, now
That
hold
movie
up
was
now.
good.
Hey, she did what she needed to do. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. I think that was a good
Yeah.
young people movie. Wasn't a whole bunch of sex and drugs and cussing and shit. Like, it was a wholesome movie with a fun message and some supernatural shit. And she killed it. So when I looked up
Now
her
I gotta go
name, I
back
was
and
like,
watch it.
hey, yes. Because that and
That
she's
movie was
funny.
good
This
though.
is a funny girl. So shout out to her. I saw on the IMDb breakdown that she's only in 3 episodes of this season or of the show. Period. So I'm a little down about that because I'm like, use her. She is good at what she does. Use that girl. So, but yeah. So let's start out because this one I think is going to elicit less of a response. Carlton in his
No,
anxiety
it's
mate.
gonna have a response from me on
Oh,
this
it
one too.
is. Oh
Yes.
shit. Okay.
I
So
don't like the black
Carlton.
teacher saying, well, this is gonna
No,
be
no,
a
no, no.
girl,
We're going.
please.
We're going the his other storyline first. So Carlton, we've established that he has issues with anxiety. I'm not certain like what the medical breakdown is when it comes to that. I'll just say anxiety. And so while we deal with some stuff with Will and Phil is going to talk to him, Carlton catches him in the hallway. He's like, "Hey, have you thought more about my drugs? My anxiety drugs that's kind of messing with me. They're fucking up my sleep. And by fucking up my sleep, I can't study. And by not studying while I'm preparing for college, this is giving me more anxiety than before the medicine." And I'm not one who deals with anxiety on a like medically diagnosed way, but I
Same.
understand the thoughts and frustrations of being like overstimulated and needing shit to just be quiet. And having Phil, I'm gonna tell you, I wasn't happy with Phil this episode, and it carried over from the last episode. But this part of the storyline really did soften Phil to me a little bit more. So Phil tells him, like, me and your mom, we're going to talk to the doctor and we're going to keep an open mind. And I thought
Yeah.
he was just brushing him off. So I was like, oh, you want me to hate this man? But what ultimately happened was the
Guilty.
doctor. Oh, we know. We know. Oh, we know. That was implied. But what ultimately happened is Vivian and Phil sat with the doctor with a telemedical call. It was on the computer. And the doctor explained to them, like, you could loosen the reins a bit. And so one
Yeah.
thing that really stuck out to me that I liked about that scene is that Vivian was like, well, not verbatim, but she was like, oh well, we don't want to take him off the drugs, you want to make sure he stays stable or whatever. And the doctor was saying, like, look, he's gonna be 18 soon. you want to give him a little bit of leeway now while you have the power to do so. Because when this man is grown, and it's not necessarily like, oh, he's still your child, control him. He's like, no, because if he weans himself off the medicine, that's not going to be good. Where if we can slowly decrease the dosage, and I'm like, this conversation in and of itself, it almost brought me to tears, because when it comes to Black people and anxiety issues, mental health issues that are not blatant, like multiple personality, schizophrenia, when it's not that very obvious, this is what's going on, when it's like depression and anxiety and stuff, historically, it has been looked at as pray it away, or why you playing around? You ain't got this, that, and the third. And I like the way that this storyline was handled, and I like the specific conversation, because with this conversation, you're able to imply trouble in the past, catch us up to speed, and then discuss something that I think is a fear of some Black people, is getting on these medicines and being like, I don't know, zoned out for the rest of your life, when
just
they're
being an addict.
Yes.
Yes.
And what the doctor is saying, even though it's not blatant to the audience, is that though he may be on these drugs for a long part of his life, there's ways that you can wean yourself off, or you can switch the dosage. Because I think when people hear like, oh, a psychiatrist gives you a prescription, it's like, oh, now I'm gonna be addicted. I'm gonna go to the quote unquote crazy house or whatever else, and it's like, because it's not normalized, which I that word, but it's not normalized in a way that makes learning about it feel comfortable. Because like, and I liken it to, and this is going to be very extreme, I liken it to the AIDS crisis back in the 80s. To hear the word AIDS, it's like, no, because I think this is a good enough explanation. When it came to AIDS, you're stressed and you're worried. Oh, I don't want to get it, and so you stay away from it. But learning more about it, and I say AIDS because everybody know what the AIDS and HIV is, but when you learn more about it, and you learn about the medical advancements with treatment, and then with the virus itself, that's more commonplace than mental health stuff. I feel you could talk to somebody about, you got pills, commercials for pills and shit on every day. So what I'm saying is, this conversation, specifically this type of conversation about Carlton, about a Black boy who is dealing with anxiety and his drugs, and about altering those drugs so that he feels more like himself, I think was very important, because you don't even get to the point of having that conversation usually when you talk about Black people and mental health, and especially young people. So that's my that's my thoughts there about that storyline.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, man. I think it, especially you made a good point, especially about the being in the Black community, that we don't handle those things. Oh, well, I'm not gonna say that. I think we've evolved, and we've gotten to a point where we're at a point now where certain generations get it, and now I mean, those past generations of Black people kind of are pushed back a little bit more now, and we're coming into the time where certain generations are like, I get it, I understand.
Yeah,
let's handle it the right way. So yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I feel like that whole situation with him and his anxiety is being handled correctly. But on the flip side,
oh, but before you do that,
I want to be clear. Is going.
Yeah, no, I see that, and I'm not happy about that. But that is also a reality of this stuff sometimes. But I do want to say that me mentioning that Black people in the past have been not so open to this type of conversation is not to knock anybody. This is my community. I'm just bringing this to light. So, shit is a different time. The 90s, you can have a very special homosexual episode. In the 2023, we have homosexual lead characters. So there is a difference in time. So,
and we have a multiverse of Ashley. So there's that. The future is great.
We're going to get there. Let's but no, where do you see, which I think is quite obvious, but where do you see this Carlton and drug storyline going?
He gonna
why
relapse.
Is that an issue for you?
He gonna relapse. He gonna relapse. I don't know how it's gonna happen.
Oh, we saw it when that white boy put that substance on his stethoscope.
Yeah, but like how we getting there?
I just the stress of the BSU.
I really like Carlton now. Like
Same.
And not because he go to the BSU,
Just in
but
general.
because we're finally at a point where Carlton and Will are having like a great relationship with each other. I love the scenes that they have together because it feels really good, and the two actors actually have chemistry. So it's like I like this, and I like the way the whole thing is going with him sneaking out with Will, and
bruh.
And he was just like, "Hey, Will, like let's do these things and let's do this," and like very minor scene, a very minor thing that happened, but I loved it so much, and I was like, "Man, I love these two."
Yeah.
The morning after they went out, and they was sitting at the bar, eating breakfast, and they just like, and they, man, come on, man, like I don't want that to stop. And I feel like probably when we get to probably episode 5, it's just gonna go downhill because I feel like he's gonna relapse, and I don't want that to happen. Like,
but they're gonna be arguing. I saw that in the little super cut trailer of the season. They're gonna argue. But hey, as long as we end up, but that's life. But I'm with you. I do like them together. I like them as a unit. I like them sneaking out together. That was one of the moments that I could suspend belief, because remember when Will first escaped and he climbed over that fence and got caught. Now Carlton, and this is I think was done well, where he said, there's only one way out of here to avoid cameras. And they ultimately did the same thing, but we don't know if they went like a back way or something.
right.
But I was like, I don't know about this, but I'm going to accept it because I like what's going on here.
Right.
So,
right. I like their shenanigans.
Jazz and Carlton, to me, I like that because he was like, "Man, we going to South Central." Carlton said, "Give me more credit. You think I don't know that?" Like that was. I don't know if I'm just hungry for this Black Boy Joy type of scenario, but they're also doing a damn good job with it. So yeah, I'm with you there. So now let's get to the ugly. Carlton meets up with the BSU because of some things that are going with Ashley. Do you want to hit the Ashley stuff first and come back to this?
Yeah, let's go to Ashley, Alpha, and Omega real quick, because
so with that
I hate this shit.
Okay,
this is dumb.
Let's set the scene. For those of you who have watched episodes 1 and 2, and those of you who have not, the issue about the Ashley storyline to me can be summed up in one audio clip, and that is,
when you're Black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
So true. So true.
So go take it away. Go.
So in my notes,
yes.
How you gonna fire a teacher for giving out extra homework? It's not a part of the career. And so Ashley Alpha was giving extra homework to Ashley Omega so they can go through the multiverse of Bel-Air, Fresh Prince world, and so she could be successful at being the president in Bel-Air world 2059.
Yes.
And there is a white student who is very upset that Ashley gets all the extra homework. I'm mad because you got to do these extra book reports. And so, say what?
I don't think that's it. I think it's that she's giving her this black shit. It ain't even. It's not the homework. But
hey, Ashley Omega is black.
Don't matter. Duh. When you're used to getting the world handed to you,
she's black. Why is it wrong for her to know more about her blackness and evolved as a black woman? That little white girl. First of all, let me just get this out the way.
The only one. Okay.
That little white girl site is not that good. She didn't see what them book titles were.
But she heard her. She heard them talking though. She was close enough. I'll give.
Go to class.
For what? Why?
Go to class with a white girl. Be something. Be somebody in your life.
She is somebody. She's a snitch. She's a tattletale with that high ponytail. Get out of here.
I just feel like. So Ashley Alpha gets fired from being a teacher, which causes the whole multiverse to go into shambles. because Ashley Omega can't get the learning that she needs to be president in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air universe 2059. So we get to a point where Ashley talks to her parents about Ashley Alpha getting fired, and Aunt Viv is going to do something about it. I hate this, but then again, I love it because I don't have to see Ashley Omega ever again for the rest of the season because I didn't want her on the show in the first place. But
there's a little Ashley, right? You said Ashley Omega, the little one.
Oh, sorry, Ashley Alpha. Sorry, I get them confused. They look so alike.
They're the same person.
Damn, this multiverse.
Shit. Yeah, man. Hey.
I just wrote in my notes. I said, why does the teacher get fired for just giving out extra work? Because all she really doing is just making her write book reports on stuff. And it's like, why couldn't it be? So they said that she was teaching stuff outside of the curriculum, right? Mm-hmm. How is that affect? And maybe you can help me, Rhayne, because maybe I'm stupid. How is that affecting the little white girl who does she want to know more about blackness?
No, she don't.
I don't get it.
No, the fact is they're putting this black woman in her place. That's what it is. What would have made more sense is if the book that she gave to Ashley, she made everybody read it. Then it's like, okay. Girl, hold up, what are you doing? But the thing is, how dare this black woman? Which and this is something I considered for a long time. And I said, well, with the real world issues that we're having with like critical race theory that's only being taught in like one college in Florida, a college, like things like that are real world events that are circling and going on. How does that affect this show? And my thought was, if it came to any other race of people giving any other piece of history about themselves, I don't think it would be a problem. But the fact that this black woman had the audacity to nurture something within this black girl, we're not having that. Because again, the comment that they made last episode was, I wish more of my teachers were like you, Miss Hughes. I wish more of my students were thirsty to learn, or whatever she said, which implies that most of Ashley's other teachers, that in addition to what Vivian said during the parent-teacher conference meeting, or whatever that shit was, is that there are mainly white teachers there. You had a prestigious academy, predominantly white, with predominantly white staff. We can infer that Miss Hughes is one of maybe 5 black teachers there. So how dare this black woman come in, and it ain't about the homework. How dare you express this interest in this blackness and give this attention to this black girl that you're not giving to me? Or how dare you do it, period? Like, let me put you in your place. Because why does this little motherfucker have all this power to influence who has a fucking job? Miss Hughes ain't touched nobody. Miss Hughes ain't cussed nobody out. Miss Hughes ain't did nothing on screen. They have not established that she's done anything vindictive or disgusting
or
and the
abusive.
There we go. So the fact that I am, and then let me take it even further. And this really pissed me off when I thought about it. If you're going to be upset that she's giving out this extra work, whatever, the very conversation that Ashley Alpha had with that little girl in the whole class, because she said, what do I do if I don't agree with what the book is saying? She said, you fight to the, she didn't say it literally, but you fight to the death, and you cite your sources as to why you don't like this book. So, like, she's not showing favoritism. She's the fucking teacher. If I taught a class and there was a young black boy amongst a lot of different races, and I see he has no other black male figures in this learning space, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to give him, like, what the fuck is that? Like, why the fuck can I not connect with a motherfucker who I'm already in charge of as my job and as my moral duty as this educator? So because this other little motherfucker over here is in her feelings, okay, fine. Let's hear her mom out and why she thinks this is wrong. But let's also talk about why the fuck I think is wrong. You're employing me. I'm here. You hired me for a reason. Like, the shit is so weird, and we get so many microaggressions and so many bullshit situations like this as black people And I am not a woman. I'm not a black woman, but I can only fucking imagine how fucking annoying it is to be constantly hit with this bullshit day in and day out. And the fact that this little girl with her underdeveloped brain that I am in charge of pouring into can get me fired because I gave one student, because you have not established she's done this with anybody else. I gave one student a book, and this little girl didn't. It's like, what the fuck? What world is this? Where do we live? What is this? So I don't know. That shit was weird as fuck to me.
And can I
go ahead?
And I'm trying to understand. Like, I don't feel like the teacher forced this on her. To me, it feels like, because we really don't have a really. Maybe I'm not catching the clues, but it felt like Ashley maybe came to her about.
No, they already talked about this as a class. In the first episode, they had to have like discussed the Black Panthers and Ashley expressed interest in knowing more about.
Okay.
Damn, it was a one. Oh, forgive me. I forget which woman it was, but it was something about
Angela Davis.
Yes. God damn it. And she gave her the book. We were already talking about this. If we already fucking talking about Super Mario, it can't be too far-fetched that I give you a fucking Super Mario book. You want to know more about Super Mario? Here you go. So why is the same does not apply here? I'm not giving you a book of Super Mario porn. I'm giving you the history of Super Mario. So why the hell is this not appropriate for a child? Like, come on. I don't know. Shit is weird.
It's odd.
I mean, system is fixed.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So I don't know. That storyline really pissed me off because again, I'm black and I'm not a black woman, and I listen to black women, and I can only fucking imagine. And I've been at the recipient end of fucking microaggressions and bullshit ass thoughts about black people in the workplace, black men in the workplace, like, and then you're upset because motherfucker don't want to engage with you. I want to come here, do my job, and get the fuck out of here. But it's an issue for you when I'm not tap dancing and shucking and jiving for your bitch ass. But the moment that we can do all this shit and be comfortable for you, but the moment that we now want to discuss some shit that's real life shit, not something I'm making up or pulling out of my ass, now it's a problem.
And there's only one student that's trying to just learn more. I don't know.
Yeah, the shit is weird.
It's crazy.
Yep. Weird as fuck. Because even as a black person, if I am teaching a class and a kid wants to know more about, let's say, the Holocaust, I'm not Jewish. It's my duty as an educator to find a way to make that work, even if it's simply, here are 2 YouTube videos I'd like you to look at. Here's an author I'd like you to read. There's a play, like even if it's that minor and it's not me giving you a book, the shit is weird.
And it's not like she's giving her extra credit for just she's like, hey, like, if you give me a report on this, hey, that's some extra credit for you, because
that's not even an issue.
Is it that what we want kids to do? Like, we want them to learn so they can actually move forward.
That's
and
not even an issue. That's not even what they're firing her
for. You should reward kids for learning.
Fuck
school. Everybody, that's how school works.
That's what I'm paying tuition in is expensive ass fucking institution. The fuck you thought?
Well, they can't go to South Central because Jazz is there and he's just a hood rat.
Where do they meet Jackie? So
you mean this woman with a whole job and an apartment dating Will?
Yes, just like that whole man with an apartment and a job who's dating Hillary.
Hillary is not in high school.
No, I get it. I'm talking
Will's
shit.
in high school, and I'm just like, Jackie.
We don't know about her.
I wrote in my notes. I'm like, does Jackie have a full-time job and an apartment?
Has a 401k. She has a 402k. That woman is grown. That is a grown woman.
So Will's in school, and she was like, sneak out to the club. And
but then
I'm like, wait a minute. I said, where's she working at? Is that her part? Is that her second job? Like, is she?
Yes, she's a dog groomer. She's she works at a shoe store. She's a club promoter.
I ain't seen Jackie at nobody in high school. Just
high school for what? Jackie is 32. She is grown. Shit, that is a grown woman.
She was like, sneak out.
If you need a permission slip, ma'am. Where are you?
He's in high school, bitch.
It is definitely a school night. What do you mean?
It is a whole Tuesday out here. This
right.
Like, I gotta go. I gotta sneak out.
Oh my god, he's about anytime, any place. Sit your Janet Jackson ass down, Will Smith.
Boy, you got homework. You got homework and you got to go to school in the morning.
No, you
Talking
gotta
about
get
some
fresh for the
sneak
11th
if you
grade.
need permission. He kind of do.
Yeah, he's a child.
Right. Jackie
Children
just
need.
like, she's just like, I just can't wait.
Yeah, the shit is weird. Even
I
that
just
one's
want to know
weird.
what high school Jackie's in. That's all, because clearly she was at work when she called him.
She
And
graduated.
it was clearly
3 years
1
ago.
o'clock in the afternoon.
No.
and she at work.
That's what she said later. She had to get off her shit. She was like, meet me in 8 hours. I'm gonna log some OT. Meet me in 9 hours at the after hours spot.
Right.
Ma'am, that is something grown people say.
Jackie has a whole husband and a
That's her
2-year-old
husband's dog.
daughter.
Yes. Oh Lord, she's Aunt Viv's age and shit. No, so Carlton and the BSU. So now this Ashley shit happens, and Carlton takes up the cause of let's do something about Ashley Hughes being fired.
Because that was his teacher. Let's establish that was his teacher too. Like everybody, I think everybody in the Banks family had her as a teacher, which is still kind of weird to me too.
Hey,
okay, I said she ain't.
Like
I said Tatiana Ali ain't. She's not up there in age like that, so I don't understand.
Well, if her and Hillary are like, I don't know, 10 years apart, I could. Well, maybe I don't know. Whatever. Don't think about the math.
Yeah, the math ain't mathing.
Yeah, it ain't. She younger than Jackie,
but but we are in the multiverse, you know. What I'm saying? Maybe Ashley Alpha is a Scarlet Witch. So
yes.
She just looks the same in every multiverse. So.
No, truly, man. If Wanda pop up with them ugly ass kids, but yeah. So, so they want to fight for her because she was such a good teacher, and whatever else. And which I mean, it makes sense. I've done this before when I was in high school, so it's not unheard of. But I feel like this was. Everyone rallies behind it, like, okay, we'll do a walkout. And then Will says, yeah, we're going to walk out, and it's a blackout. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this, and I don't know how I feel about that random black lady, because she wasn't there in episode 1. She's like, they were like, okay, we need somebody
now. It's
to disagree.
Rant powers activate, because here I come.
This show said, oh, you thought we was feeling you, BSU? Let's give you the con. So this lady, and I'm assuming she is maybe like the staff staff liaison for this group, or maybe over groups in general or something like that. And so she hears the comments, and instead of speaking up and saying something and offering,
sit back in the back and watch. Watch these. Let me watch these slaves so I can tell master.
Oh no! But instead of her, like, because she eventually disagrees with Carlton and their methods. But my thing is, if you're the adult in the situation, bring that up now, because now it's going to look like he's the problem. Bring it up during this conversation, where even if they don't agree with you, you can't say they didn't hear you. And express to them, because to me, this goes back to the feeling about Jazz and Phil. This feels like you're being elitist. Like, Carlton, your reputation's on the line. Fuck them other niggas that's in that class. They already going downhill. They're not worth saving. But you, it's like you're the chosen one. You're the good one. You're the good kind of black person. And that's why I was like, hold the fuck up, Miss Henrietta, Miss Geraldine. What the fuck are you talking about?
Let me just say this too.
Go ahead.
It would have made a whole lot more sense, her being an adult in the room, to say, okay, guys, that's one plan that you guys can go about doing this. Let's look at the options.
Yeah.
If you really want to lead the whole BSU in the right direction, you being the adult in the room with a bunch of impressionable high schoolers,
say it.
You supposed to say, hey guys, I get that. that worked in certain scenarios. Here's some other ways you guys can actually handle this if you really want to figure out how to get her back or how to do these things, instead of, like you said, creeping around, sneaking off, and catching Carlton by itself and be like, that's just gonna be on you.
Like, that's manipulative.
What? That's
These kids don't talk enough to their parents for me, because I told my mom this heifer said.
you got to convince me to continue to watch this show, Rhayne. You're not doing a good job right now.
Well,
we got a whole podcast to do.
You too. It's your fault too, nigga. You're not doing a good job of convincing me. No, because that is silly as hell to me. And I get that Carlton is the main character, but again, the optics. First of all, you only brought the BSU in season 2, and this is to serve as Carlton and mainly Carlton's black story arc. And I already like Carlton. We didn't necessarily need this. And I feel like we're discounting, though this is fiction, we're still discounting the thoughts, ideas, and feelings of these black kids in this union. My friend JJ Aaron, she mentioned these motherfuckers, being Will and Carlton, came out of nowhere. You came to us before when you were running for president, and you got our vote, but where have you been? And she mentioned that from a place of someone who's been in like those spaces before, and it was something I didn't even consider. Like, yeah, you brought him in to be this rich part of his storyline for season 2, but we have to assume that they existed in season 1. But we never saw these people. You did not give them the time and energy. You did not mention them. And so now when you got these black ass special black episode of the week, fight the power and all this, now you bring them in as this backdrop. But even in this space, having that old lady tell him this is on you and your reputation, and not even consider that these kids, which is such a slap in the face, because those kids, to me, that read as they're disposable. They're going to do what they're going to do. But so no matter how wealthy these black kids is, they're still not the right kind of black for you. That you're not making this statement to everybody. Y'all futures are on the line. Even if I don't agree with what she said, you didn't address it to everybody. You addressed it to him like he's the only one that matters. Like, girl, get the fuck out of here. Why are you here?
Again, a bad choice in writing and the direction that they could have went in. Because I really feel like if you wanted to, because I think, first of all, Bel-Air, we've established that Bel-Air High School is most definitely a white place.
Yeah.
A space for wealthy white people to be there. I feel like if this teacher or liaison or whoever she is really gave a damn and she actually cared about what's going on in the BSA, her job as an educator or someone who is supposed to be a leader in that whole space, her job is to step up and say, all right, guys, again, like I said earlier, give them other options outside of what they want to do in a walkout, so we can most definitely save all of these kids from being expelled, or we can save all of these black kids from getting kicked out of school.
Not just one of the good ones,
right?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Figure out what y'all want to do on this fucking writing staff, man, because y'all are killing me. Y'all are killing me. Y'all killing me on this show, man. Hey. Like, why do y'all have to make it hard?
I don't know. I think some of these storylines are just, and I get that it's a show with multiple people, but she was right there in the room with them. You could have just made that scene longer. You could have just added exactly what she said to Carlton. She even could have said that to him. She could have addressed everybody and then be like, and Carlton, you running this.
Or just give them other options that could work.
Bro, these kids are only here to be part of this black student union. We don't see them anywhere else. So we gonna see. But just know I didn't like that. And I don't know if I would have, I don't know if that coming from a white teacher would have softened the blow. Because I'm like, oh, they're white. Of course. No, it still wouldn't. This was a silly thing to say. So good luck to Carlton there. And let's see. Let's do.
Okay. Let me throw something out here really fast, and then you can go. I just want to throw out a question, or I just want to make a comment.
Go ahead.
Will is not that good at basketball. It is the competition that he is playing. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. I hate to burst y'all's bubble.
Hey,
he ain't that good. He ain't that good.
So when you say he ain't that good, are you saying that Jabari is good at acting that role, or are you saying
No.
Will?
I'm saying that we're kind of overplaying our hand here with this Will. What I'm saying is he's good, but he ain't that good. And what I'm saying is the competition he's playing is shit. Okay. So let's not this whole storyline. The reason why I'm saying this is because this Coach Hightower dude, I'm tired of him. Get him out of here. I'm
don't
already
like
sick of
you don't like the
I'm
white
sick
man
of
or
him.
Doc?
I'm sick of him. Huh?
Hightower, that's the white man, or is that Doc?
Doc. I thought his name was
Oh.
Coach Hightower or whatever. His name. I don't know whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Thanos. Steve Hightower's younger brother.
Yeah.
Whoever he is. We're in that. We are in the Steve Harvey Show universe too. Look,
yo, yes,
that's Steve's younger brother,
bro.
Doc.
With his
I'm
that's where we're going.
So sick of this nigga. Get him off my screen. He is annoying. He is the mustache twirling villain, and it don't work for me. It don't work. You want to get NIL deals? You want to play for the big leagues? You want to do all? Hey, I ain't seen not one dude that you didn't show me the proof.
That's what
show
I'm
me
saying.
the proof.
That's what I'm saying. We had that pickup game, and that was it.
Get his bad sweater wearing ass up out of here. Okay. Okay, he in the club with a fucking ugly ass. Get out of here, nigga.
Now
go away.
He was the freshest of the week.
NIL, you want to do all these, and then
come on.
Will is a very intelligent kid / adult because he goes to clubs now.
He is 30.
He has got a whole wife cheating on her husband with him.
Hello.
This dude is like, how does Will have the sense to make it on his own? And the stuff that he's been doing since season 1, he's been like very street smart and savvy. And he understands this shit. But Doc all of a sudden is just like, kid, I can get you there. And he's like, yeah, that don't match up with me. Will is a lot more street smart than that. He makes stupid decisions sometimes because of his arrogance. But this ain't arrogance that's making him fall for this Doc character.
It's desperation.
Like it makes him just like, oh, I gotta make it on my own any way possible, and Doc's gonna get me there. I'm like, and then he was talking about I was being recruited in Philly, but nobody's really like. I'm like, my nigga, you literally ain't been there. Isn't this the same semester? Like, what year of school is this? Like,
this is year 5.
Like, I don't think you've even been at Bel-Air. I don't think that you've been in Bel-Air Academy long enough for people to know, hey, that nigga moved. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
I'm trying to understand why he is so like, that's Doc. I haven't seen none of Doc's players show up. It would be different if I seen somebody that Doc has helped made to the league and just like, oh man, that's John Morant. Like, yeah, again, Doc's my homeboy and all this other shit.
Even if it was a fictitious person that you just made up, the only thing we got is that guy, that random guy in episode 1 who Will was like cool with. He's like, yeah, I'll get you in touch with my guy. Who are you? I ain't
seen you hoop either. I ain't seen him play no kind of ball. I ain't seen his jumper.
Yeah, this is what I mean when I say it feels like some stuff is like off camera, which is fine, but not stuff like this. Because like you, I feel like you're falling into All-American territory. And All-American is not a bad show, but it's very much a CW show. It's very much like you if you've seen the CW show, it's like just picture the Flash with just slightly better writing or maybe slightly better plotting. It's a CW show, and it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a terrible show, but like you're walking that line now. And the Doc storyline is so weird to me. I was wrong about the familiar relationship, but I was not wrong about the relationship to Jackie. And even that feels like, are you trying to
fucking uncle get the stop?
Oh God! But no, I'm with you. I
Mm-mm.
think the Doc storyline is very weird because you don't have anything to back this up, and then for Will to be so stressed. Okay, this Doc storyline to me would have made more sense if Will was not back home. The moment you came back home and accepted the apology of the Banks family and that you were back in the fold, this stress to make it on my own and to get this D1 scholarship, whatever, I don't know basketball, so whatever. But that drive to get that specific type of scholarship to get into school feels so weird to me because you're not.
You want to know why? You want to know
Why?
why? Because he refused to go back to Philly because he said, "Hey, mom, I have more opportunity living here." In season 1, I don't remember the episode, but I remember him saying that,
Well, hell,
and
him and
that's
his
why he
mom was
wouldn't go
only in
back to
2
Philly,
episodes. Yeah,
huh?
so I said him and his mom was only in 2 episodes together that
But
season.
that's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
so, and I understand that he was betrayed by fucking Uncle Phil and all
No,
this other stupid stuff.
but I
But
don't I don't again, once him and Uncle Phil got back together, this desire to do this shit on your own feels like it's falling flat because honestly, let's just accept it. Let's say, okay, this is good. This is what they're doing. Why is this your desire? Because you're at Bel Air, you're getting a good education. Even if your grades aren't the best, I feel like being from Bel Air Academy is going to get you looked at. Is are you still so wrapped up in basketball being your quote unquote way out when you have all this opportunity here? Not to say that you can't still strive for that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but just this very focused desire of getting this D1 scholarship. Like, is it if he came out and said that this is a desire for him because it's his only real connection back to Philly? Because here, though he has opportunity, he knows that you're in a different space that is not Philly. And me becoming an adult in this space just proves that me being in Philly is the past, but this is my way to still stay connected to something that I was on the verge of getting back then okay. But just this like desire, him and Phil both said the same thing. There's more than one way to get a scholarship. He's like, oh, it's more than one way to get to school than Philly. And Phil's like, well, there's more. I'm sorry, there's more than one way to get the scholarship than just Bel Air. And
mm-hmm.
Phil was like, well, there's more than one way to get a scholarship than just this D1 shit. Like, what is your goal? And I understand that he's a kid, but the motivation doesn't make sense to me when you remove the anger and frustration that you had for Phil. Because when you separate yourself from him and become your own man, you separate yourself from his resources. So the D1 thing makes sense to me. I have to get a scholarship some kind of way. But now that you're back in the fold, this makes no sense.
Yeah,
Just
and he keeps saying, "I'm tired of people handing things to me." I'm like, "Nigga, you
you're a
got a whole
liar.
apartment you got a whole apartment in their house. What you talking about? Then you should have never came back."
And also, you was on Jazz. Well, no, I think he paid Jazz. He paid Jazz, right? But either
Yeah,
way,
he was hustling games at the park,
which we should have saw. I
aka
feel
selling
like
drugs.
is Doc not set up as a drug dealer? I feel like they took a drug dealing storyline and just made it basketball.
Yeah,
This
that's
shit is
what I feel like
weird.
too.
This shit is weird as fuck. Because I mean, cool, you're doing something different, but I'm like, bro, you might as well made it ice cream. Because like, what are we doing? What are we
This is
doing?
basically you got served.
Doc is a predator. Get him out of here. Get away from this school and quit trying to recruit me for your damn auxiliary basketball
Well,
group.
what he said? He said, "Hey, you don't have to join my team. You can still do it at Bel Air."
Okay.
With his ugly sweater on. Just get him off my screen, man. I'm tired of this dude.
No, he has to get the money from the Bel Air. From the Bel Air. It's from the banks. I'm sick of
Yeah, I
this.
don't even understand Doc's motivation. Like,
Because
is he
they're
trying to
rich.
is he trying to get money off of them? And then Uncle Phil just like, next time you want to like sit down. You ain't gonna do shit, man.
Vivian should have delivered that line to me. Bring out some
Thank
West
you.
Philly.
That would have made
Vivian
more
had.
sense.
And not to say that Phil can't be concerned, but also Jeffrey is right there.
He
Why
went
in
back
the
with the family like that yet. He's still he's still
but
integrating back in.
No. But what he did do was let them know, hey, Will is spiraling. I know we ain't on good terms. But so what I'm saying is, even if he not back in at this point of the story, why is he not collecting information? Like, why? If in
Phil
the
ain't
next episode,
gave the word yet again.
no, fuck that. If in the next episode Jeffrey does not address, even if it's a throwaway line, I looked in the doc. If I'm gonna be mad because we get all this shit about Lou, a man who was never going to physically harm his son.
Right.
That was never our concern. Our concern was him being a bad influence on Will. But you got this nigga outright like, come get on the winning team. I'm Suge Knight of basketball / drugs. Come be on my team, Will. I'm gonna show up at all your games. I'm gonna be a fucking weird ass adult hunting you down to get
You
close
talking to
you.
my niece.
And how
Do
we
we
know
trust
you ain't
Jackie?
offer your niece up to him?
Do we still trust Jackie now? Since we found out that's Doc's niece?
I never trusted her. I always knew there was something.
Because
No,
she
because
cheated
I
on
was
her
like,
husband?
that's her daddy. Yeah, Doc is her husband. That's her husband. They go to Doc Will. No, but like I never trusted her. The strength of Tyra playing Jackie did not translate to make me be like, oh, like it did for Lisa, though I didn't like Lisa's character. I still was like, oh, Lisa, whatever. Jackie, she will slit your throat. Jackie is a ninja. She is a work at Foot Locker. She has a husband, a 402k, 2 kids. Like Jackie is Jackie of all trades, master of
Right.
none.
You
I'm
got
not,
a whole family out here
but no, but
at the
seriously,
club.
I like the Jackie character, like her independently, but I don't trust her. And it's
I
not
don't
because I
either.
think she about to like do him wrong, but I feel like what is the point of having her? Like what? And then him being, I feel like we're gonna get with her what we got with Will last season, where her secret was Will keeping his past secret from Lisa. So her secret is now Doc is pushing her to get close to him, push up on him, influence him. Though she already did have interest in him, now she's torn between, do I do this for my uncle and turn my back against family and be with him, or like I don't need all that. And then him kissing her. Okay. Though we haven't got to the episode yet, Will put his fucking lips down that girl's throat in front of Lisa. Say what you want about Lisa and Will and their weird relationship, but I was like, I gotta see what leads up to this because this feels weird. This feels weird to do. But back to the episode at hand, I did not know that Doc was her uncle, but I did think that was her dad last episode. So I'm gonna count this as a win for me and predict the stuff.
I will give you that.
I think that's just you grown enough to hold down a full-time job. to own a dog and to club at night, but then your uncle walks over, you're like, oh, that's my uncle.
She was like, hey, I ain't doing nothing.
If I work at a club and my niece works at a club and my niece is 30 and I see her dancing, grinding on a guy at the club.
Who's a high schooler?
What? No, okay, let's stop it.
We're in high school. Hey, we can't get around that.
You deflate my argument. Let me start over. If I work at a club and my niece is in high school,
just because you take college credit don't mean you in college.
I can't make this work. I was trying because why are we at this club? Why is okay? If it's a after hour spot where we're just chilling and we like young adults, cool. But then if it's a club, why is Will there? But if it's the after hours chill spot for the kids, why is Doc there? This is
Jazz literally had to get. Jazz said in the beginning, he's like, "Look, y'all don't drink, don't do nothing because it's on me if y'all somehow." Yeah,
they are the only ones underage. Everybody else is grown, which means Jackie and Doc are the same age. This show is so weird. That scene felt like
I'm like Jackie got a whole. I said Jackie called this boy at 2 p.m. in the afternoon talking about some. Hey, sneak out tonight when I get off my shift.
Right.
At work
and
we'll hang out.
Do you remember Save the Last Dance? That scene
yes,
where she was like, "Let me squash this shit." That's what this shit looked like. This was lifted right from Save the Last Dance.
Oh no!
I wanted Julia Stiles to pop up and do her little. But yeah, that was kind of odd. I did enjoy the Carlton part of that scene though. Him actually dancing with those two black girls, and I think it's very important that they were black girls because he's not had the best track record. And I don't blame him because I feel like as a black kid, you're just finding your footing. But I like that he was kind of getting into this space where like I'm addressing my fears, and he didn't even talk to Darby and the Dead. He didn't even talk to her initially without being pushed for it. So Carlton is my favorite.
They're setting us up, man. They're setting us up for the fall, though.
Yeah, they is.
I already see it.
I'm still gonna stick beside him, like I did in season 1. I'm stick beside Ollie. I got you, brother.
Yeah, I am too. Because Carlton is one of my favorite characters on the show.
I think him and Jazz are truly killing it. That's really all I got about grown ass Doc and
I'm tired of him. Can we get this over with? Because
no,
his shitty sweaters, and then he at the
no. We need to see him and Will sitting on the front steps of somebody's house in their black tracksuits. I was like, is this Jackie's house? Who house is it? I watched the trailer that they play at the end of the first episode to show the whole season. I'm like, how are we getting to some of these spots? I'm gonna keep watching for that alone. Who house is this?
I'm still debating.
Okay, well then let's stress you out more. Let's move to Phil and his conversation with Jeffrey. First of all, you don't think Jeffrey's shirt was fresh? That little pleated shirt he had? Bruh, what's up?
If I go to my notes.
What's up?
Uncle Phil is a bitch ass nigga.
Oh, wait, tell me how you really feel. Yo.
You know, Jeffrey, you family. And G, I love you, bro. That was the fakest shit I've ever heard in my get the fuck. The only reason why I'm sticking with this right now is because I need to see what's going on with Jeffrey and his kid, because that part of it really got to me. He was like, I know what arrangement I made. I know what I did, but I can't see him anymore. But up here, but he said it ain't working for me. And I was like, man, I want to see how this happens. I want to see what happens with that. But as far as like Phil apologizing and this apology tour that Phil's going on, man, you can kiss my ass, man. That dude is a bitch ass nigga, and he gonna be one. And I'm not fucking with him. I didn't like it. I didn't like the back and forth between him and Jeffrey. I felt like the damn apology. I don't know if it was the acting or if it was just because I don't like Uncle Phil in this show, but I hated that damn apology. I thought it sucked. I thought it was like, you family and all this other bull. You should have said that to that man beforehand.
You should have
never left. You should have never said when you fired and all that. Man, get out of here. Now I love you, bro. Fuck you, nigga. Get out of here.
You love me because your wife told you. Just do this. So tell me this. I think I asked you this in season 1, but do you think that the actor playing Jeffrey would have did a better job as Uncle Phil?
I like him as like this mysterious spy.
No. Him aside, like the Jeffrey character aside, like the actual actor, like his. Because I know you don't like Phil's acting. Okay, cool.
No, I need him to be
John Wick.
He's Luther.
He's John Wick. This nigga is
he
Luther Wick.
He's Luther, man.
Yeah,
man. Even when he came back and he was just like, it looks like you'll be 10 minutes late. I was like, let me go ahead, Jeffrey. I said, go ahead with the spy ass. I love it, man.
That's him. That's him all day.
I hated this back and forth between him and Phil. I thought it was shitty. I don't like Phil. I think he's a horrible. Give me a new Uncle Phil. Let's do something. Here's something that we need to do. You know what? I thought about this.
What?
Instead of doing a switch with Aunt Viv, let's get a light-skinned Uncle Phil in here.
Bruh, if they do
Terrence Howard doing? What is that? Somebody call Terrence Howard. Get him on the phone.
This nigga been campaigning for Terrence Howard for you.
Get Terrence Howard on the phone.
I think he would kill it though.
Terrence Howard and give him a check.
I don't know, man.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here with this. This guy is horrible. And y'all be riding for this dude.
Oh, no. Y'all, you better be speaking to the audience at large, because I am not a fan. Now, last season, no, I ain't even gonna hold you.
That was your homeboy, and you was riding for him, Rhayne.
Yes.
Don't do that.
And I'm not even gonna deny it. But season 2, my thoughts have changed. I'm not a fan. I don't like anything that he has done in this entire season so far. There's not one thing that he's done. Even the situation with Reed, where he's like, "Oh yeah, now you got to take the gloves off." What,
Hold
girl?
on.
What are you talking about? What?
Time out. Did they run out of money? Because Michael Lee ain't nowhere to be found.
He gonna pop up. Look, when I looked up Riel
They
Downs,
couldn't pay him.
when I looked up her appearances, I made sure I did not look for anybody else. Because if they say Michael Ealy and it says one episode, I'm gonna be hurt. So I didn't even.
They can't pay Michael Ealy, man. Michael Ealy ain't no. I ain't seen Michael Ealy yet. That nigga was like, "Hey, y'all got my money?
This is a finale
We working on
appearance. That's a finale appearance. Don't play with him. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Come on, Bel-Air. Don't play with it.
These niggas cannot pay Michael Ealy. That's fucked up.
Hey, look,
hashtag pay Michael Ealy.
You done got this vampire in season 1. You just wrapped it up, sent them to Europe or something. But yeah,
they can't even
but no,
pay
I
Michael
don't.
Ealy, man.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Uncle Phil. I don't like the way anything has been handled. Except for the conversation about Carlton and his drugs. That's the only thing. Other than that, the apologies to me were weird. Even more so than his apology to Jeffrey, his apology to Will. Will is a child. Like the fact that it took you so long, like I don't know. I think it's weird. And then again, even the comment about Reed, it's like, yeah, I get supporting your wife, but you're gonna have to take the gloves off now, sweetie. What, girl? What are we talking about? Shut up. Offer more than just that.
No, that was your homeboy last season. No.
Yeah, it was.
It's gonna take a little
bit
longer for me to be convinced, Rhayne, because you were just like, "Oh,
I don't care about you being convinced, nigga. I don't give a fuck about that. What I'm telling you is, I know my heart. No, but I just don't care. He's done, like, even on the boat. I get that as an adult, you are not perfect as an adult. You're still going to make mistakes. You still have to own. So I get all that, but you are the head of household. You have made it your job to oversee everything, not just because you're a parent. You have been monitoring your son and his drug intake with anxiety stuff. You've been had your hand in Hillary shit. You were willing to bail her out of any and everything. Ashley is your peanut or buttercup, whatever the fuck he said. Like, you have been take charge of all things, but you can't acknowledge that you fucked up with both Will and Jeffrey. It takes all of this. Like, you got to put yourself aside. I don't have sympathy for him because I don't like the way this was handled. And especially, even if you weren't doing it on your own volition, the fact that your wife is coming to you, pretty much pleading with you to, like, you fucked her over with the damn election shit last season. Like, you disregarded her and money and all that shit. And she coming to you off some shit that's not even going to negatively affect you in your career or nothing. This is family shit. And she's telling you, make it right. And then you take all this, like, I don't have any sympathy for you. You are a weirdo. You pick and choose what works for you. You are not the be all end all that you think you are. It feels like Jeffrey was still out living his life, still being able to monitor your family. Without him, you're at a deficit. He's not at a deficit without you. Maybe emotionally because he loves your family, but you aren't, just because you are the one making the money, I guess, that's not enough. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I don't like the way he's handled anything in this season, and I feel like it's going to take some backflips, some cartwheels, and handstands from him to make me feel better about his character, because you are a shitty dad. You are a shitty person. You, like, do better, nigga. Like, if I kept my nephew's dad away from him and that came out, even if my intentions were pure, I would have to take whatever shit he wanted to yell at me. And I would have to beg him for forgiveness. This is why I did it. It was best for you. It might not have been right. You might not have felt it was right, but you were a child. I'm an adult. I did what I thought was right. You could be mad at me, but you gonna hear my apology, and you gonna know that when you're done being mad, you can come to me. Not I'll talk to him some other time. Girl, shut the fuck up. Jump off this boat. I was so fucking done with him.
That was your fault. That was your fault, though.
What? Shut up. Quit bringing up old shit.
It was your peoples. It was your posts.
Shut up, Cole.
I kept the same energy the whole time.
Okay, nigga, you did. People change. The fuck? So yeah,
them your peoples. That's your folks, though.
This peanut head ass.
I don't think you understand, Uncle Phil.
Hey,
Cole.
I don't deny nothing I said last season. All I'm saying is, what the information I've been presented with, Fuck him.
I had something
Period.
else I wanted to bring up, and this is more. This ain't really got. I guess it is kind of storyline stuff, but I still wanted to ask: is it me or does Vivian not have nothing to do?
No, she has to play phone tag with Reed.
She's very minor so far. I know it's only 2 episodes, but
no, it's gonna ramp up when Phil start cheating. You saw that clip when he started cheating. She gonna go and pull Reed from Transylvania or wherever vampires live. Yes, she gonna ramp up.
It feels like it's like I know she's. I feel like the stuff that Vivian is doing so far is like busy work. Like I feel like she's not being a part, and maybe that's just me.
I think because the cast is
I enjoy Cassandra. I think her name is Cassandra Freeman. Again, I raved about her last season as being Aunt Viv, and she was such an important part of the first season. And I know we're only 2 episodes in, but I just feel like they just giving her like little busy tasks to do, and she don't really have like a real storyline. To me, this is how I feel.
No, I think you're right, but I'm okay with it now because I know something bigger is coming. Like her cussing out that assistant, and also knowing that Phil is going. He may not cheat, but emotionally cheat. Oh yeah, she gonna hit him over the head with one of them canvases. So I agree with you. I feel like she is kind of just there, but I think having her presence, like visually seeing her, is more important than like giving her this big ass storyline now, because I can see that we're ramping up to something bigger with her.
But her storyline was one of the better parts of the first. Like I just feel like she's just a really good Aunt Viv, and I like to see her on screen. And she is she's so unapologetically black in that show, and I love it. And I just want more of her doing stuff. So
that's fair. My issue with her though is that I don't want her storyline to be Phil cheated. When you hyped her up in season 1,
we on the same page.
Being this big art, like I would much rather her. I get the Reed thing because maybe they can't get Michael Ealy but for a couple episodes. But I like the issue with Reed, but I would like even more if you would show me the shit she said before. Like I want to get inner city kids into art. Like show me that. Give me the trials and tribulations of you dealing with making that happen. Because I think with the Carlton and the anxiety medicine storyline, you're giving us a peek into an actual real world thing that Black people are dealing with that you maybe don't see to that degree on screen. So do the same thing with art. I think art is a industry that is easy enough to get into because you can draw, you can paint, whatever. But there, just like any other industry, there is gatekeepers and there are processes and resources. Like having an art fellowship, those words in that combination mean nothing to me. I didn't know what that meant. This show, speaking about it and making it a thing she's dealing with, put it on my radar. Now, I still may never want to be affiliated with her or nothing, but give me more insight. Just like the Influencer House, however poorly or well done you think that storyline was, it put that idea in a lot of people's faces. And so you even saw Hillary go through the process of moving in, dealing with challenges. Do the same thing with Vivian. What does it mean to have an art fellowship? What does it mean to get inner city kids to create art and to do showing? What does that look like? That's what I want. So I don't just need Phil cheated. I need he cheated while I was helping these Black kids.
Yeah.
So now when we whoop his ass,
he ain't gonna cheat. He gonna do something. I don't know what he gonna do.
He gonna step with her. Him and that girl gonna be stepping.
step to the right. Like, well, Phil's very stiff, so he'll probably be anyway.
I think that hit everything except for specifically Will and the coach, the white guy who's the actual coach of Bel-Air.
Oh, we ain't even talk. We done did this whole pod and we hadn't even talked about the main character. I will be honest with you.
Necessary.
I didn't care.
Yes.
I didn't care. I didn't care. Hey, it's a team. We need, man, sit down. You are dating a married woman. You need to go somewhere and stop.
Bro, what?
You are dating a married woman. Jackie is married.
She is. She's poly. I don't know. But I don't care about it either because I feel like they're trying to do with this storyline what they're doing with Ashley. Because what's the guy? Kirk? Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
He's like, I
we're a
know,
team.
Will. I know I missed the shot, man. He was like, I'm just trying to say from West Philly. I'm like, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Will don't play basketball good enough for me to care. So, and
Oh.
I'm a basketball fan. I'm like, that nigga can't hoop, bro. Like, he's
Hey,
terrible.
you can't
He just
suspend
playing
belief.
like he just playing bad teams.
Yeah. I don't care either. I think last
Yeah.
season was better. I don't know. I think if we're gonna go the D1 whatever shit, I think if you had have made Will play, but then also play with Doc late at night, which is making him tired and perform poorly at Bel-Air, then maybe I could see
Doc
the
don't play
basketball
late at night because
storyline.
he's in a teen club recruit.
Bro, this show, yeah.
Doc is in a teen club,
Hey,
chilling with. I guess the club was split. It was the
club
teen
owner.
side and like the adult side, and he went
You
to
know what? I saw that as the VIP area for some reason. I didn't even.
in the
I was
teen
like,
club.
it's where the
That
VIP.
clearly Doc ain't supposed. Clearly Doc ain't supposed to have no VIP area in the teen club.
Man, I don't know what the hell. No, it
That's
was
a bit R. Kelly-ish, don't you think?
man. Say that to Jackie. I don't know. I
Doc
think it
having
is an
a
adult
VIP
club.
area in the teen club is terrible. It should
I
never
don't
be
know.
spoke of again.
It didn't even have to be a club. They could have just like that. This interaction didn't have to happen there. It could have been a bowling alley. Like it truly, because like where I'm from, we have like 2 big bowling alleys, and I remember being a teenager bowling on a Friday night and them just having real good music playing. You know, you got your little bar with like wings and stuff, and there were like families, there were teenagers,
Right.
there were. It could have been a bowling alley, and that would have I would have been able to. Who being adult and who being a kid would not be stressing me out this much. They could have just been at a bowling alley, and you could still dance. You could still kind of, do whatever, and then that would have made more sense. But my uncle's coming, because bitch, we had a bowling alley. Why are you grinding on this boy? We are at a club. You're supposed to do this at a club.
Oh man,
I don't have a problem with that, niece. So
Doc getting bottle service from a teen at a teen club is terrible.
like, can you even handle this liquor?
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what? I guess he was like, this is the adult side over here. Come on over here, Will.
Because there's no way to mix those two. There's no way that some kids look grown, and there's no way that some grown people look a little young. Like, come on. This is a recipe for disaster. Yeah, that shit was weird.
Why? Yeah, what? Never mind, because I'm not even gonna take it there. So let's just wrap this up. Let's wrap it up, because this is we're just gonna keep going, and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
Well, listeners, what did you think about the teen club? Let us know. Use the hashtag POF. No, this was an interesting episode. My final thoughts are: I am going into episode 3 optimistic, but with all of these critiques and concerns in mind, and hoping that some of this stuff starts to make sense or gets course corrected by the end of episode 3. I enjoyed this show for season 1. And I'm enjoying revisiting these characters, but some of the actions are a bit off to me. And I think this is one of those shows where sometimes you get critique as an adult who enjoys consuming media. Oh, this is for kids, or this and that. But this show in particular is not one that you could say, oh, well, you get so upset. This is catered to children. No, this ain't no fucking cartoon.
They have it listed as a drama on the.
That's what I'm saying. But you know how folks are, with me being into comics and animation and stuff like that, I've oftentimes hear that being a critique when someone has an issue with a part of a property. Oh, this is for kids. Okay, girl. Well, let's explain all them 40-something-year-olds who are behind the scenes, who are doing wardrobe, who are putting time and energy, and this is their career. This ain't no damn, I don't know, fucking Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. But all that being said, I think that I'm going to be a bit more optimistic, but I'm going to let the show, by episode 3, determine how I'm going to feel about it going forward.
Well, I guess since we have a podcast together and we need to do content, I guess I can go on and watch the next episode. But if I'm being completely honest, I think how can I put it where it doesn't sound mean? Well, fuck it. It is gonna sound bad anyway. I feel like, don't stab me in the back don't establish these characters to be completely like going for black, and we love black people and we love black this and legacy and ownership and all this other shit that they kind of push down our throat, and then we get to a point where classism becomes a case because you can't support black if you're gonna support classism. Does that make a little bit of sense? Am I okay?
No, yeah, it
I
do.
just
It do.
I just don't feel like I feel like it really hurt for me to see that whole situation with Jazz. And again, I don't know where the storyline is gonna go,
But
and
what they
maybe
gave
I
us
would
now.
just jump too fast. But you just can't establish the things that you established with Vivian and Phil, and then they look at Jazz a certain type of way because he's not of means or whatever the case may be. The man makes a pretty good life for himself, from what I've seen on the show so far. It just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit just to see, if I'm being transparent, like that just hurt. It tapped into something that's happened to me before,
Mm-hmm.
and it really hurt my feelings to see like they went there with that character, or they might go there with that character.
Yeah.
And I just I wasn't feeling it. And I was ready to
Okay.
just say fuck this show, and I don't want to see that shit no more because
That's fair.
I feel like you guys have established the Banks as loving black people, loving everything about being a part of the culture, so on and so forth. And then now you look at Jazz, it's like this street nigga who ain't supposed to like date your daughter, like who ain't even out here thugging or selling dope or no shit like that. So I'm gonna take it episode by episode, but that really fucked with me. That whole scene fucked with me a lot, and I ain't like it.
No, I feel you. That's fair. That's fair. I'm with you there, and I'm hoping that episode 3 gives us a little bit more insight. But whatever your feelings are, I think they're justified because this is what we have so far. It's not like you watched the whole season and they did something different and you're still mad. This is what we have at this time of the recording. So I think you're justified. So that's that shit. Listeners, let us know how y'all feel. Are you Uncle Phil or are you Jazz in this situation? And Cole, let these folks know where they can find you, support you, listen to you, and all that good stuff.
If you want to support me, you can catch me every Thursday for Thursday Night Lights. It's a live radio show on bynkradio.net. It's every Thursday at 7 p.m. from 7 to 9. You'll have me giving you music news, letting you guys know what new releases are dropping at midnight, and also playing some of the newest stuff that comes out on hip hop and R&B. You can catch me on Twitter at Cole Jackson12. I get a lot of I've been a little quiet on Twitter now because I've been busy. And you can catch me on Instagram at Cole Jackson_BYK.
Yes, sure. And those links will be in the show notes along with mine, Twitter and TikTok, Carefree Blur, CarefreeBlackNerd on Instagram and everywhere else. YouTube, if you're watching it, hey, hit that subscribe and like. And those of you on the podcast platforms, go ahead and leave a review, leave a like, leave a comment. Use the hashtag POFPod if you want to talk some mess on the Twitter timeline. And until next time, y'all, stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky. And if you are a teenager dating a 43-year-old woman who runs a Foot Locker and then her uncle is a year younger than her, go back home to Uncle Phil and tell him what's happening and be open about your relationship so he can help you out. All right,
Tell your husband.